Ever wonder how toys are made? It's like magic. Have you ever held a toy, a brand new toy, right out of the box and just wondered? Yes, wondered. How did it get here? How was it made? It's so perfect, so detailed. It's almost like magic. Poof! And there it is, a shiny car, a smiling doll, a soft, cuddly bear. But is it magic or is it something else? Something perhaps even more fascinating because, magic is magic, but making something with your hands, with machines, that's a different kind of wonder, a very real wonder. Well, let me tell you, it's not exactly elves. No, not tiny elves in a workshop. Though that's a nice thought, isn't it? A charming image. But the reality? It's factories, big factories, high-tech factories, full of incredible machines and people, skilled people, artists, engineers, all working together. It's a symphony of creation, a dance of design and production. And it's happening right now as we speak, or as I speak and you listen or read, you get it. Hot Wheels, those tiny cars, so sleek, so fast, they fit in your pocket, but they feel so substantial, real. Where does such a tiny titan of speed begin its journey? It starts, as many great things do, with an idea, a spark, a vision in someone's mind. Someone says, what if? And then the magic begins. Not a puff of smoke, but a pencil, or a stylus. Yes, imagine designers, artists really, they're sitting there, sketching, dreaming, drawing cars that defy gravity, cars from the future, or maybe beautiful recreations of classic muscle cars, sleek European racers, wild, fantastical vehicles with fins and flames. They think about the lines, the curves, the attitude of the car, what makes it look fast even when it's standing still. It's an art form, a miniature art form. So much passion in such a small package, incredible. Then these sketches, these dreams, they go digital. Yes, computers, powerful computers. Designers use special software, 3D modeling programs. They sculpt the car, virtually, every tiny detail. The shape of the headlights, the curve of the fender, the spoiler. It has to be perfect, absolutely perfect. Now we're in the factory. Imagine it, the sounds, the hum of machinery, the clanking of metal. It's a busy place, an exciting place. This is where the Hot Wheels cars truly come alive. And it starts with something elemental, something powerful. Metal, molten metal. Yes, you heard me. Liquid fire almost, it's quite a sight. A spectacle of industrial might, all for a tiny car. The metal they use, it's often an alloy called Zamac. That's Z-A-M-A-C. It's mostly zinc with a little bit of aluminum, magnesium, and copper. It's strong, it's durable, and it melts at a relatively low temperature, for metal that is. Which is good, makes it easier to work with. This molten Zamac, glowing hot, is injected, forced under pressure, into those steel molds we talked about, the ones made from the prototype, filling every nook, every cranny, every tiny detail of the car's body. The molds are then cooled. Paint! Yes, the color. This is where the cars start to really shine, literally. They're sprayed, evenly, with all sorts of fantastic paints, bright reds, deep blues, electric greens, metallic silvers, sometimes multiple coats, to get that perfect glossy finish. Imagine rows and rows of tiny cars, all getting their custom paint jobs. It's like a rainbow on an assembly line, a very fast, very efficient rainbow. So cool. But paint is just the beginning of the look. What about the details, the flames shooting down the sides, the racing stripes, the logos, those tiny, tiny pictures? How do they do that? It's often a process called tampo printing. Think of it like a very precise rubber stamp. A silicone pad picks up the ink design from an etched plate, then it presses it onto the car, perfectly, again and again, layer upon layer of detail. It's amazing, the precision, for such a small surface. And a car needs wheels, right? Of course it does. Can't be a Hot Wheels car without those iconic fast-spinning wheels. And axles. Section 5. Dolls. Dreaming up a dear companion, the first spark. Now let's shift gears, from fast cars to friends, dolls. For centuries, children have loved dolls, companions, confidants, little figures to share adventures with. But how does a doll begin its journey? Much like our Hot Wheels, it starts with an idea, a vision, a spark of imagination in a designer's mind. What kind of friend will this be? What story will she tell? It's a deep thought, really, for a toy. Designers sketch. They draw faces, so many faces. What expression will the doll have? Will she be smiling, thoughtful, perhaps a little mischievous? Section 6. Dolls, bringing beauty to life piece by piece. So, we have the master model. Perfect, beautiful. Now what? Well, from this master, molds are made, intricate molds, usually in sections, molds for the head, for the arms, for the legs, for the torso. Each part of the doll will be created separately, like a very sophisticated, very specific puzzle. These molds are often made of metal, strong, durable, ready to create thousands, even millions of identical parts. It's industrial artistry. Then comes the plastic, or vinyl often. It arrives at the factory as tiny pellets, or a liquid. This material is melted down, heated until it's soft and pliable, or liquid. Then it's injected, under pressure, into those carefully crafted molds. This is called injection molding, or sometimes rotational molding for hollow parts like the head. The hot plastic fills every detail of the mold, capturing the sculptor's original vision precisely. It's a hot, high-tech process. The plastic parts then cool, they harden, the molds open, and out they come. Doll arms, doll legs, doll heads, still separate. Section 7, Dolls, Crowning Glory and Couture Finishes. What's next for our nearly complete doll? Hair. Yes, a glorious head of hair, or maybe a cute short style. This is a fascinating process. For many dolls, the hair is rooted. That means individual strands or small groups of strands of synthetic fiber nylon often are punched into the scalp with special machines, using tiny needles. It's like a high-speed sewing machine, but for hair. Imagine that, thousands of strands, to create a full, stylable head of hair. Once the hair is rooted, it often looks a bit wild, so it needs styling. Just like you might go to a salon, the doll's hair is brushed, it's combed, sometimes it's cut, curled, braided, put into ponytails, whatever the design calls for. Factory workers become hairstylists. For dolls, they make sure every strand is in place, that the style is just right. It's another layer of detail, another touch of realism, or fantasy. Depending on the doll, she needs her signature look, right? And then, the clothes. We talked about the design. Now they're actually made. Tiny patterns, tiny sewing machines. Section 8. Teddy bears crafting cuddly comfort from scratch. Ah, the teddy bear. Is there any toy more universally loved, more comforting? A furry friend for generations. So soft, so huggable. When you're sad, he's there. When you're happy, he's there too. But how does this icon of cuddliness come to be? It's a journey of softness, from flat fabric to a three-dimensional bundle of joy. And it starts, like all good things, with a plan, a pattern. Designers dream up the bear. What will he look like? Big and traditional, small and modern. What kind of expression? Friendly, sleepy, curious. They create a pattern. This is like a blueprint for the bear. Pieces for the head, the body, the arms, the legs, the ears, even the little pads on his paws. Each piece carefully shaped to create that perfect classic bear silhouette, or maybe something new and whimsical. The pattern is key, it dictates the entire form. Next, the fabric. This is so important for a teddy bear. It has to be soft, it has to be plush, it has to be huggable. So many choices. Faux fur in all sorts of colors and textures, velour, fleece, sometimes even special patterned fabrics. Section 9. Teddy bears, stuffing, stitching, and a whole lot of soul. This is a magical moment. The turning point. The sewn bear, still inside out, is carefully turned right side out. Suddenly the fur is on the outside. It looks like a bear. A hollow bear, yes. A floppy bear. But a bear nonetheless. It's ready for the next crucial step. The step that gives it that wonderful, huggable quality. It's ready to be filled. With softness. With life. Well, not life, but you know what I mean. Stuffing. Usually it's a soft, fluffy polyester fiber fill. Light, airy, perfect for cuddling. This stuffing is blown into the bear, through a small opening left in one of the seams. Machines can do this, ensuring an even fill, or for some special bears it's done by hand, carefully, making sure every part is just right, not too firm, not too floppy. The head, the tummy, the paws, each part filled until the bear is perfectly plump, ready for a good squeeze. Oh, it's gotta be just right. Once he's all stuffed, that little opening needs to be closed, stitched up, neatly, securely, often by hand. Section 10. Conclusion. The amazing art and heart of toy making. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour, through the fascinating world of toy making. Hot Wheels, forged in fire and finished with flair. Dolls, crafted with such detail, such personality. And teddy bears, stitched with softness and stuffed with, well, affection, really. It's not quite magic, is it? Or maybe it's a different kind of magic, the magic of human ingenuity, the magic of creation. Amazing, right? It's a beautiful blend. Artistry, you see it everywhere, in the initial designs, the sculpting, the painting of a doll's face, the expression on a teddy bear, and engineering. Oh, the engineering, the precision molds, the complex machinery, the automated assembly lines, all working in harmony, so much skill, so much technology, all dedicated to one simple goal: to make joy, to create something that will spark imagination, and bring a smile. And there's something else too, something you can't always see but you can feel it, it's love. Yes, I said it, love.